Hi class, so today I'm gonna show you how you actually can set up for project one, how you can download the template and then use that for develop your project one. So before I actually show you in practice how to do it, let me give you an explanation using just one single slide. So we have a project one for the class. This project one repository, it's on my account in Bitbucket, and I kind of like picture this using like a cloud, okay? It's on the web. And of course, as we know, we are using Git, so this repository here has been cloned on my computer, and then I can update this repository by pushing and pulling. Now, how can you actually get this to work? Now, traditionally for homework, what we've been doing is just cloning, so just pulling down on your computer this project one repository. But this time we want to do a little bit differently. What we want to do is to make your own online version of project one, right? We make a copy of this one, and this process is called forking. And you do that using the Bitbucket website that is online. So I'm going to show you how to do that. So basically you fork the project one repository, and then you have your own copy of these on your own account. After that, you clone that repository on your machine as you already know how to do it. And you can use the push and pull operation to basically keep updating your project. Okay, so I'm going to show you this process, how to do it. So first of all, you go to bitbucket.org. Over here, you want to create an account. In my particular case, I log in. I already have made my account. So I insert my email. And then password. And you can use a Google account if you want to, or you can make your account, it doesn't really matter. And once you're inside, you're brought to this kind of dashboard where you have your current work, and clicking here on your repositories. And in this particular moment, you should have nothing. Basically, you have no repository over here that are available. So now what do? You basically want to go to the page where there is the class repository. Now, this one you can find it from the Google Drive, and that's the page. I'm gonna go. This is the project one repository. As you can see, this is mine, right? It's Andrea's project. This is my group and this is my project. Now I wanna take this one and make a copy online on my account so that I can push and pull on this one. To do so, you click on plus, and down here, you will see fork this repository. Just to let you know, let's say you want to create your own repository of a project that is completely independent from this project one. You could create your repository by clicking repository up here. But in this particular case here, we want to use the template I made for you. So you click on fork this repository. You fork this repository, and then it's going to ask you, okay, which one is the project name? Might be an untitled project. You can give it a name. And then the name of the repository, I'm going to leave it as project one. You can also add a description in the advanced settings. I'm not going to do so. And I click fork repository. Now, what is actually happening is that we are cloning. Actually, cloning is not the correct word. We are copying the repository from the Andrea account to my current account, which is this one. And this is just my personal repository. At this point, I can go on as you usually know for this class. So you want to clone this particular repository. So I'm going to take the location and going to open GitHub Desktop or any other client that you're using, or the command line. It doesn't really matter. So I'm going to open GitHub Desktop, and then I'm going to create a new repository. Actually, I'm going to create, clone a repository. So I clone a repository from a URL, choose also the location. In this particular case, I leave the location on the desktop. I clone it. This folder has been created for me, and I actually can go there and open it up, and I can see these are the template file. All right. So you expect to put your code inside here. You can have multiple files. All your code goes inside here. You're going to have your video will go inside of this folder, and then your README, which basically it's all the information about the project, like a project description, and also in case you get any help or any other things, or anything you want to tell me, it goes in this README file. Let's say now, for the sake of purpose, I just give an example of modifying this code. So this is the code that I will find as a template, and I will just start by saying hello world. So hello world, and then I'm not gonna run this. Instead, I will see immediately that after saving, I have some changes. I can do a commit. In this case, I will say hello world was added. I commit, and so far no differences with what we've learned in class. But now I can also push this to my online repository, and that's what you want to do before the final submission of this assignment. So I click on push, and this is going to ask me my username and password. So your username is the account name, which in this case is the following for me. Save and retry. It's going to try it out. It's pushing to the origin and has been pushed. If I go here and I try just to refresh the page and I go inside of the code, I will find that the hello world was actually added. Okay, so that is how you commit, and now as you also push. Now, you probably might not need to pull because you are pushing on this one, so your local repository will always be ahead of the origin. But if you want to pull, you just have to pull as you have been doing before by clicking pull over here, and you just pull and make sure that everything is up to date. Okay, and then as usual, you have your history and you can keep adding over here. So I hope this tutorial is helpful. For your final project, for project 1, you will have to submit the entire folder you can get from here. To get the folder, you can simply click on download, and now I can download the repository. So by doing this, I'm actually downloading the entire repository and I can submit this. And you will also have to submit the address of your repository, which in this case is the repository up here. Maybe one last thing I can show you before finishing this tutorial is there are some repository settings over here. And in these repository settings, you can actually modify some of the parameters you were asked before. Like for example, to which project these project 1 repository belong. So I can select over here or create a new one. I can change the avatar picture. I can put a description and so on. I can say on the landing page what I want to have displayed on the screen and so on. I can finally also delete this repository, and to delete the repository, if you really want to do so, you need to copy the entire location of this repository and then delete, and I will delete it. Okay, so watch out if you do so. I hope this tutorial is useful, and see you in class.